What if the Tower of Babel was actually such an advanced construction that even modern technology would struggle to explain it? Just imagine a united people with a single language and a daring goal to build a monument capable of touching the heavens. What would have motivated these people to attempt something so extraordinary? And even more intriguing, was there something beyond stone, clay, and sweat behind that colossal construction? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might surprise you. In the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, a narrative emerges that spans the centuries. The story of the Tower of Babel. The simple biblical account found in Genesis 11 has already astonished scholars, curious minds, and believers of all eras. But a closer look reveals intriguing details about the techniques, engineering, and symbolism behind this project. If we stop to reflect, the ancients were not limited to what we call primitive knowledge. In fact, there is evidence that the techniques used in the Tower of Babel represented a technological innovation for the world of that time. Have you ever considered how baked bricks and resistant mortars were the cutting edge of technology? This is without mentioning the audacity of planning a structure with the goal of overcoming the limits of heaven and earth. But can modern science explain all the mysteries of this construction? No matter how much archaeologists, engineers, and historians try to decipher how an ancient people were able to erect something so grand, many questions remain unanswered. How did they manipulate materials, organize the workforce, and conceive a design that would forever mark history? And it doesn't stop there. Consider the spiritual symbolism involved, the connection between communication, technology, and faith. Over the centuries, the fascination with the Tower of Babel has transcended the realm of religion and permeated discussions about power, knowledge, and how far humanity can go when it places no limits on its own ambition. Have you ever experienced this? Have you ever felt challenged by something considered impossible, whether due to lack of resources, knowledge, or understanding? Indeed, humanity has always sought to overcome its own limits, and the Tower of Babel is perhaps one of the greatest symbols of this desire. What makes it all the more curious is that, even after centuries of study, nothing fully explains the mysteries behind this tower. What kind of technology, combined with faith and courage, could have allowed such a feat? What was so special about this union between men, materials, and purpose? Stay with me, because we're only beginning to unravel what makes this story one of the greatest biblical and technological enigmas ever recorded. There's still much mystery to explore, and in the next part, you'll understand how the advancements of that era can challenge even the concepts of today's science. Being here, on this quest to understand the mysteries surrounding the Tower of Babel, is more than just simple curiosity. It's a journey that connects our history, our faith, and the human desire to overcome limits. If you feel that this discovery resonates with what you believe and seek to understand, supporting this project is essential so that we can continue bringing profound and revealing content like this. By liking this video, you help spread this message, allowing more people to reflect on these stories that transform our vision of the past and the divine. Subscribing to the channel is more than just a click. It's a commitment to knowledge, spirituality, and a community that values the encounter between faith and biblical curiosity. This is how we grow together and keep alive the flame of uncovering what science cannot yet explain, but what our intuition and faith feel so deeply. By subscribing, you guarantee access to each new revelation, to each detail that goes beyond the scriptures and touches on the hidden aspects behind the story of the tower that tried to touch the sky. This journey is only beginning, and your presence makes this quest a shared experience where mystery, technology, and spirituality intertwine to open doors we may never have imagined existed. Stay with me in the coming moments, because what we are about to reveal may forever change your perception of what humanity is truly capable of achieving when it unites knowledge and faith. At the heart of the Tower of Babel, narrative found in Genesis chapter 11, lies the image of humanity united by a single language, a single purpose, and an audacious project to build a tower that would reach the heavens. Imagine this scene, men and women pouring energy, knowledge, and ambition into erecting a structure capable of symbolizing not only physical power, but also a cultural and spiritual transformation for the entire civilization. This was an era of grand decisions, where a unified language not only allowed for clear, communication, but also enhanced the coordination of a work of proportions that defy our understanding even today. This moment is a window into a collective mentality focused on ascension, on reaching the divine, blending the technology of the time with a vision that could be called transcendental. It's important to understand that we're not talking about a simple architectural undertaking. We're facing a project that can be interpreted as a true revolution, a journey of discovery into the inner workings of human power, the control of matter and will. In that endeavor, the idea wasn't just to build with stones and clay, but to try to touch the sky, to connect with the sacred, to challenge the boundaries of the possible. The hidden truth of this account goes far beyond the physical and lies at the intersection of faith and technology, between the mystical and the real, a challenge that remains to this day for historians and scientists. The impact of the union has since been felt on many levels: cultural, social, and spiritual. The tower symbolizes a collective transformation in which humankind takes control of its destiny, believing it can overcome limits imposed by creation itself. This overconfidence, in turn, ended up being the key to the fall when languages were confused and the attempt thwarted. But within this failure also lies a narrative about the limits of humanity itself in the face of the vastness of the unknown. Perhaps this lesson sounds familiar. How many times are grand decisions made with a control mentality only to stumble upon the complexities of life and spirituality? Historically, this story is linked to one of the most discussed and controversial monuments of antiquity, the Etemenanki ziggurat, which is believed to have inspired the biblical Tower of Babel. Recent archaeological evidence suggests that it was a monumental construction, complex in its engineering, built to connect earth and sky, and that it carried with it a fascinating duality between technical power and the sacred. Behind this structure lies an enigma that still pulsates in the heart of humanity. How did an ancient people manage to unite in such a grand purpose, using a technology and a mentality that many would call incomprehensible? What can we learn from this ambition and its unexpected outcome? If we allow ourselves to delve into these layers, we begin to understand not only what was materially constructed, but what this tower historically symbolized: the human journey in search of answers and meaning, the combination of technology and faith, the impact of a collective project that ended up fragmenting due to the complexity of existence. It is in this dialogue between past and present, between myth and reality, that the Tower of Babel reveals its true depth. Now let's delve deeper into the history behind this construction and uncover the clues that archaeology and traditions have left us as a legacy. When the Bible speaks of the Tower of Babel reaching heaven, a question arises that goes far beyond the literal. What does this expression really mean? After all, were the builders only thinking about erecting a physical structure that would reach the clouds, or did this tower symbolize a much deeper reach, also involving hidden knowledge, advanced technologies for the time, and even a spiritual connection that transcended the limits of the tangible? Asking this question opens a door to understanding the mentality of a people who had a vision that blended the material with the spiritual, engineering with transcendence. Thinking of the Tower of Babel as a simple construction is far from capturing the full complexity of this monumental human endeavor. The idea of reaching heaven can very well be interpreted as a desire not only for physical dominion, but for transformation and expansion of consciousness. The impact of this project transcends the brick and mortar. It touches upon the inner workings of a cultural and mental revolution in which human limits are challenged by a vision of total transformation. It is as if humanity sought not only a physical space on high, but an elevated state of being, power, and knowledge, a liberation from the limits imposed until then. Some researchers suggest that this reaching heaven involved the use of technologies and knowledge that today might sound enigmatic, such as spiritual practices, intelligent manipulation of materials, and even a prior understanding of astronomy and applied science that we are only now beginning to glimpse in archaeological remains. The intersection between what we call religion and technology at that time was much more tenuous than we imagine. The Tower of Babel may therefore have been a meeting point between the divine and the human, the mystical and the practical, a symbol of a journey of ascension that for many was beyond comprehension and therefore interrupted. This phenomenon was not merely a matter of pride or vanity on the part of the builders, but perhaps a milestone in the evolution of collective consciousness. The unified language, which according to accounts allowed for unprecedented collaboration and understanding, was part of the driving force behind that transformation, a necessary link for that ambition to materialize. When that link was broken, it wasn't just the physical project that collapsed, it was the very unity of purpose and vision that dissolved, plunging humanity into a new era, marked by diversity, conflict, and of course the continuous search for meaning. Now, when we consider these elements, an intriguing revelation emerges. What if the true technology of the Tower of Babel wasn't just in the construction techniques, but in the capacity to reach higher levels of collective consciousness, a hidden truth that still challenges science and invites us to reconsider what it truly means to reach heaven? It is these connections, this mystery between technology, spiritualism, and history, that show how complex and layered the human journey is, a journey we are still uncovering. It's time to delve even deeper to explore these unknown dimensions and understand what made this project a construction not just of bricks, but of a mindset that changed the course of humanity. The story of the Tower of Babel, though shrouded in mystery, reveals some archaeological evidence that continues to fuel debate and discovery. Some Mesopotamian records describe enormous structures, similar to ziggurats made of bricks baked in fire, a technological innovation at the time. These towers were not simply religious monuments, but true works of advanced engineering, designed for both liturgical purposes and protection against flooding, a constant reality in the Sumerian region. The idea that these buildings may have been inspired by or related to the Tower of Babel gains strength with the discovery of ancient inscriptions made more than 2,500 years ago, which speak of a gigantic tower and a confusion of languages and peoples. Looking at the archaeological evidence, it becomes clear that many of these constructions were made with fired bricks, cemented with bitumen, which withstood adverse conditions and lasted for ages. Excavation records reveal that these structures exceeded 75 meters in height, an impressive feat for antiquity, and that the use of specific materials, such as mortar made from petroleum resin, was essential for their stability. These records also show that at that time, technical knowledge involved much more than simply raising walls. They were true engineering feats that used innovative materials, some of which are only now beginning to be fully understood with the help of modern technologies, such as spectroscopy and electron microscopy. How did these people living in an environment of limited resources manage to build something so grand? The question goes beyond technique. There is a hidden layer that connects this monumentality with a spiritual and cultural transformation. Many scholars suggest that these towers had a symbolic function, connecting heaven and earth, a quest for understanding the divine or a higher power. At the same time, the biblical narrative itself hints that this ambition ultimately provoked divine intervention, which confused languages, dispersed peoples, and halted that ambitious construction. Still, the persistent question in the background of history is, how did these people, in their essence, control a technology that seemed almost mystical, perhaps a combination of practical knowledge and spiritual wisdom that allowed them to dream too big? And at this point, a revelation unfolds. What was built in ancient Mesopotamia may be linked to a hidden truth about the roots of our development as a civilization. The writings and evidence of monumental architecture suggest that behind each brick there was a mindset of collective transformation, a quest for something that went beyond simply making things with one's hands. The possibility that this knowledge was passed down from generation to generation, even if fragmented, compels us to rethink everything we believe about ancient technology, faith, and the desire to transcend spiritual limits. Thus, the story of the Tower of Babel reveals that often the greatest mystery lies in the union between what we can see and what we feel, in the combination of science, spirituality, and the lasting impact of a journey that challenges the very essence of humanity. I will now reveal details that could transform our understanding of what really happened in that ancient work that still echoes in our history, between what was recorded, what was lost, and what remains hidden in the age of discovery. Popular belief leads us to imagine that the ancient builders of the Tower of Babel relied solely on rudimentary techniques, lifting stones and clay with simple human effort. But the reality may have been very different and far more surprising. Today, in the 21st century, when we use giant cranes, complex mathematical calculations, and advanced logistics systems to erect buildings and skyscrapers, we still wonder, what technology, engineering, or even spiritual knowledge could such ancient peoples have used to erect a structure described as imposing, almost defying the heavens? Some archaeological and esoteric theories suggest that the Tower of Babel was not just a physical construction, but a project involving lost technologies, now almost inaccessible, that combined special materials, sacred acoustics, and even the manipulation of spiritual energies. Imagine, for example, that in addition to bricks and cement, these people had mastery over natural resources that produced energetic or vibrational effects, capable of stabilizing the tower and transforming the experience of those who entered or climbed it. The use of resins, bitumen, and unprecedented mixtures may not have been solely for firmness, but to create a harmony with the astral and energetic environment of the time. Some scholars propose that the ziggurat, the inspiring structure of the Tower of Babel, also functioned as a spiritual center of resonance, where sounds and vibrations reverberated in a way that potentiated rituals and a direct connection with cosmic forces. If we think about it this way, today's cranes and machines are physical tools for something that, at that time, could also have been achieved through mixed technologies, uniting the tangible with the invisible. This vision has a profound impact on our understanding of ancient history and culture. We realize that it wasn't just about a building, but about a transformative mindset, a quest for mastery not only of matter, but of the cosmos and the spiritual mysteries that move everything around us. The ambition of the Tower of Babel would then be a reflection of this human journey of expansion, where strategic decisions and hidden knowledge were involved in creating a bridge between the earthly and the divine. And even with all the advances and discoveries of modern archaeology, some of these techniques remain a true enigma, a secret kept behind the scenes of time and lost among the sands of history. Today, as we reflect on these possibilities, we question not only what the ancients did, but how they did it, a question that continues to challenge our understanding and stirs a deep desire to reveal the hidden truth behind these monumental feats. This reflection leads us to understand that the story of the Tower of Babel is more than a simple construction. It is a testament to humanity's capacity to dream big, to challenge limits, and to the risks and consequences that come with such audacity. Now, I will unveil the origins of this lost technology and what truly drove this construction that continues to impress with its grandeur and mystery. Let's imagine a little more about this lost technology surrounding the Tower of Babel, a true enigma that blends physical engineering with an almost invisible spiritual universe. Today, to erect large structures, we rely on cranes that extend their immense arms towards the sky, accompanied by complex mathematical calculations, software that predicts the impact of each element, and meticulous logistics. But the ancient builders who did not have these tools seemed to possess another type of technology, less tangible and perhaps even more powerful, a combination that involved materials advanced for their time, sounds that resonated beyond the physical, and energies that connected men, stones, and the cosmos in perfect harmony. Some theories suggest that sacred acoustics played a crucial role in ancient constructions. It is believed that certain sounds and vibrations could influence the stability of structures, much like a kind of vibrational harmony used today to keep entire buildings standing firm against storms. Imagine that the Tower of Babel was not just an architectural challenge, but a center where sound waves and spiritual energies were manipulated, elevating the construction beyond matter, a technology that escaped the common eye and that only initiates with hermetic knowledge could master. This type of advancement leads us to a revolutionary mindset capable of transforming daily decisions, impacting societies, and reshaping established beliefs. The use of materials such as bricks baked with bitumen-based mortar would therefore be more than pragmatic. It symbolized the union of the earthly with the transcendent, of technique with faith. The resistance of these materials echoed the search for permanence in the face of human ephemerality, in an attempt to create a monument to immortality itself. Was this the essence of technology in the tower? A delicate balance between the physical and the spiritual, science and the sacred, where each decision, however simple it seemed, carried an enormous weight of meaning and impact. This ancient alchemy challenges our traditional way of thinking about technology. It wasn't just about how to build, but also why. and for what purpose. Controlling this knowledge meant mastering the flow of vital energy of that time, dealing with the collective mentality of humanity, then unified, and making choices that could alter the course of history. The tower, then, revealed itself as a network of intertwined intentions and realities, a point of convergence of forces that went far beyond mere architecture. It was this combination, perhaps, that awakened fears and resistance, leading to a decisive moment that changed everything: the confusion of languages. Before the confusion of languages, humanity was united not only by a common language, but by a true divine technology that went far beyond speech. Imagine a perfect communication system where the vibration of words reached levels that harmonized not only people's minds, but also the entire surrounding environment. This was a living language, made of sounds and rhythms, capable of creating a collective consciousness, a harmony that allowed for full cooperation and construction in perfect harmony. The power of this language transcended the physical. It was almost a spiritual connection, where words were like sacred codes that shaped reality. This speech technology operated at a level of vibration and energy that today we can try to explain through the physics of waves and sound frequencies. At that time, communication flowed on multiple levels, not only in the exchange of information, but in an energetic and mental exchange that unified purposes, decisions, and even emotions. This reality gave humanity immense strength, both to unite concentrations and to overcome normal limits, transforming each word into a command that aligned efforts and maintained the construction of the Tower of Babel as a collective project of epic proportions. This phenomenon invites us to reflect on the impact of language on human transformation. The single language was not merely a social convention. It was a channel of power and creation, a language that structured the very mind of humanity. Perhaps for this reason, the division of languages was more than a communicative separation. It was a rupture of mental and spiritual connection that profoundly changed the species' capacity to work together for a greater cause. The diversity of languages that emerged was not simply a linguistic accident, but a change that affected the very architecture of human consciousness. Notice how today the difficulty in communicating generates conflicts, fragments groups, and prevents the construction of great collective dreams. In the story of the Tower of Babel, this rupture was dramatic, transforming the grandiose project into a chaos of disconnected voices. Perhaps the real problem was not the tower itself, but the pride and arrogance that led humanity to believe it could dominate everything with its own strength, without recognizing the limits of existence, and the superior gifts that permeated this ancient, unique language. The confusion of languages also marked the beginning of a new mentality of separation and fragmentation, essential for the development of humanity, but fraught with serious challenges. In each lost word, perhaps a little of the magic that united bodies, minds, and spirits in that legendary construction was lost. Now realize how much this story is not just about monuments or languages, but about the internal transformation of the collective mind, about choices that change the course of humankind, and revelations that remain hidden in the shadows of our own soul. This reflection on language as a divine technology is just the beginning. We will continue to unveil what else is hidden in this story, discoveries that may change your perspective on history, spirituality, and the power that communication has in our lives. The confusion of languages, as the Bible recounts, was not merely a linguistic event, but a cataclysm of communication and unity that forever changed the trajectory of humanity. Imagine the exact moment when the single language that united and strengthened every thought and action in this colossal project suddenly fragmented into disconnected voices, making understanding between people impossible. This instant marks not only the interruption of the tower's construction, but the beginning of a profound rupture in the collective mentality, in the mental and spiritual harmony that sustained that union. Perhaps the real problem was never the tower itself, but the pride that moved human hearts, a pride that led to the attempt to usurp the dominion of heaven, to defy the limit imposed by the divine. This episode carries a powerful emotional charge because it shows how unbridled ambition can destroy what is most precious to a group: communion, harmony, and common purpose. God, by confusing languages, not only disintegrated verbal communication, but also dismantled the foundation of the transformation that was about to happen, which invites us to reflect on the limits of technology, science, and even spirituality when disconnected from respect for higher wisdom. The scattered languages were not merely barriers between peoples, they were symbols of a new era of challenges, where human decisions began to be made amidst clashes, misunderstandings, and disagreements that resonate to this day. It is striking to consider that all our linguistic diversity may be the result of a divine choice to prevent humanity from uniting in a project of arrogance. This fragmentation, which many see as an obstacle, also brought the need to understand, translate, and build bridges between different cultures and realities, fostering a slow but powerful transformation of global consciousness. That territory where the tower began to pierce the sky became the epicenter of a dispersion that shaped human plurality, forcing each group to reinvent its own way of living, communicating, and relating. The fall of this monument was not simply an architectural defeat, but a metaphor for the impact of the choices we make when we let arrogance take over. Who knows if, within that ambition, lay the embryo of a hidden truth about the relationship between power, language, and spirituality, which remains guarded in the background of history. Human pride, in attempting to assume a place that does not belong to it, may have left an enigmatic and paradoxical legacy, where the pursuit of knowledge and ascension is always intertwined with lessons about humility and limits. The Tower of Babel has always been shrouded in mystery, challenging both faith and archaeology. The Bible describes a structure that sought to reach heaven, a powerful image that awakens our imagination to inaccessible dimensions. But what was the actual height of this tower? Archaeological evidence points to the Etemenanki, a Babylonian ziggurat that served as a possible inspiration for the biblical narrative, whose estimated height varies but does not exceed about 90 meters. Impressive for the time, but much less than the mythical heights reported in some extra-biblical texts, which speak of thousands of meters, almost 3 times the height of the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world today. This discrepancy raises questions and reveals a field where history, myth, and reality intertwine. Even the most renowned archaeologists cannot definitively state some crucial details about the Tower of Babel. Its exact location, for example, remains an open question, although the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in present-day Iraq is the leading candidate. Furthermore, construction methods remain almost secret, a hidden truth that leaves room for speculation and theories about advanced technology, forgotten practices, and even possibilities that blend the physical with the spiritual. How could such a grand tower be built in that era with seemingly limited resources? What techniques were employed to ensure its resistance to time and the elements? These are questions that remain without definitive answers, fueling legends and amplifying the impact of this story on the collective imagination. This lack of certainty not only increases the fascination surrounding the Tower of Babel, but also reinforces its importance as a symbol that transcends the concrete. It represents a human journey, a process of collective decision-making where knowledge, ambition, and faith merge and generate consequences that reverberate to this day. Its grandeur, more than in meters, may lie in the symbolism and the role this tower played in the transformation of humanity, in the formation of diverse cultures, and in the awakening of a new consciousness that understands its limitations before the divine. This reflection leads us to consider that the true dimension of the Tower of Babel may not lie in its physical height, but in the impact it had in forever altering the relationship between humankind, language, and the heavens. In the absence of archaeological certainties, what remains is a persistent truth behind the scenes of history, the search for meaning, the mentality that broke down barriers, and the complexity of this ambition, which more than a mere construction, was a landmark in the spiritual and cultural evolution of humankind. The story of the Tower of Babel carries lessons that go far beyond the ancient physical construction. It is an invitation to spiritual reflection, capable of transforming our mindset and our decisions. Could the true technology behind that tower have been a spiritual technology, a hidden science that united hearts, minds, and souls on a journey of ascension, but which was obscured by human pride and vanity? Thinking about this leads us to contemplate the limits of knowledge that human beings can achieve when they distance themselves from humility and respect for divine order. Because ultimately, the construction of the Tower of Babel was not just an architectural feat, but a mirror of the human condition, a mix of the desire for power, the search for transformation, and the inability to recognize that certain domains belong to something greater. This narrative challenges us to understand that true unity and the fulfillment of the highest purposes depend not only on collective effort, but also on attunement with a higher wisdom. Human beings' restlessness in reaching for heaven often mixes with pride and the illusion that they can do it alone, ignoring the calls to humility and surrender to the divine. The Tower of Babel thus remains a symbol that the path to progress, spiritual or material, must be trodden with awareness of limitations, interdependence, and the impact of our choices. Throughout the centuries, the tower's history has intertwined with countless religious, philosophical, and even esoteric traditions, which see it as a crucial point in humanity's transformation. It represents the human journey in search of self-knowledge and ascension, yet one marked by the constant challenge of ego and pride. This duality remains alive in our modern world, where, despite technological and scientific advances, we still need to learn to walk in true unity, recognizing that divine wisdom and love are the foundations that sustain all lasting construction. Furthermore, this story reminds us of the importance of humility in the face of mystery and the incompleteness of our knowledge. We are invited to look back behind the scenes of that ancient construction and realize that even great achievements, when disconnected from spiritual harmony, can lead to failure and dispersion. True strength, therefore, lies in recognizing that the divine governs history and that any real transformation only happens when we walk in harmony with this greater power. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the mysteries of the Tower of Babel. If this content resonated with you and fueled the curiosity that unites us, we invite you to subscribe to the channel. Here we will continue exploring these themes that connect history, spirituality, and hidden truth, bringing revelations that impact not only the past, but also how we understand the present and the future. By liking the video, you reinforce the connection we created during the content, helping to strengthen this community that seeks to go beyond the obvious with open minds and attentive hearts. If you felt this message was meant for you, leave a comment with this phrase so I know who's truly on this journey with me. It's a light-hearted way for us to connect behind the scenes of this fascinating story and stay connected for the next chapters. There's a video over here that complements this topic. Click on it and continue reading, because the answers we seek are only beginning to be revealed, and each detail leads us to a new level of understanding and transformation. Until then, continue reflecting on the power of unity, language, and humility in the face of mystery, because it is in this balance that the true wisdom of the Tower of Babel resides.